Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Erin. Well, we've got, let's start with some introductions. So we're doing an announcement today. My name is Ethan Demme, and I'm the CEO of Demme Learning. We're an independent homeschool publishing company based out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I'm joined with Erin Karl, who's the CEO of Analytical Grammar. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm coming to you from our international headquarters in the basement of my home in Raleigh, North Carolina.
So we call this the coronavirus announcement because we're both stuck on a Zoom meeting like the rest of America.
I know.
So the big announcement we have today is the good news that Analytical Grammar is joining the Demme Learning family. So we wanted to make a video to share that news with you today and also tell you a little bit about both of us, sort of introduce us to the Analytical Grammar family and Analytical Grammar to the Demme Learning family.
Pretty exciting.
So it's pretty exciting. And so, Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about Analytical Grammar and how you came to be running it from your basement in North Carolina?
From the international headquarters, that's right. So Analytical Grammar was started by my mother. She was a public school English teacher for 8th graders for 34 years. She wrote our sort of anchor program for her own classroom. She never in a million years thought she would sell it to anybody. It was for her own use, but word got out, and in 1996 she was approached by a private school wanting to purchase it, and at the same time this whole homeschooling thing got on her radar. We were in Anchorage, Alaska at the time, and it was pretty popular up there as it was down in this, what we call the States. So she started selling it on the side, and then she retired in 2003 and started putting more energy and effort into it. Concurrent to that, in 1998, I had graduated college and I commissioned into the Air Force as a second lieutenant and spent 4 years active duty. And in 2002, when I went reserve, my husband and I moved to North Carolina, where my mother had also retired because I wanted to be by my mommy. And I started helping her out with it. And so it was sort of just a natural progression from a little tiny, some boxes of books in the corner of the garage kind of thing. And then we added to the options that we have with the high school reinforcements and the junior mechanics, et cetera. And then I used the GI Bill to get my teaching credential when I left active duty, and I taught school here in Wake County for a couple of years. But then the company was doing well enough I could come home and run the company full time, which I did. And at that time, actually, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. So she had a 7-year cancer battle that passed in 2015. And so since then, I've been running it by myself, as well as having a reserve career. So, yeah, it's been a little busy.
It's definitely
and
a roller coaster. And there's some similarities in our background. So if anyone's familiar with the Demme Learning story, Matthew C is our flagship product, which my father wrote when he was a school teacher and then became a homeschool dad and started selling his product to homeschoolers. I think our first book was sold in 1990. So we're now at 30 years selling into the homeschool market. We sell into multiple other markets as well. I got out of college and then started part-time as the marketing guy for my dad. And it was like, maybe there's enough work to keep you full-time at some point. So that was in 2006. And then 2007, I went full-time as the marketing director. That was back when this thing called email was really new. And I was like, hey, we should start using email newsletter and maybe have a blog. I think we had a MySpace page back then. This was before you could even have a Facebook page. So again, I grew up with a business in my basement with a parent who was, beloved by all of his customers and the teacher that everyone loved. And then I sort of took over slowly. Our company became the COO in 2009 with a few employees. And then 2011, I became the CEO. And we're growing and growing. I think we have over 50 employees now across the country, and we've done pretty well. But it's that humble beginning where a lot of great homeschool curriculum started, was just a teacher or a parent who found a great tool or developed a great tool and said, I think I can help other families with this tool, and then they just started selling it, and the rest, as they say, is history. So when was it that we first met? I
Oh,
think
I was going to say, part of, I think, why we got talking the first time was we realized we were both second generation homeschool publisher company owners. I'm pretty sure, I know it was at the Arlington Convention Center in Arlington, Texas, at that show, and I want to say 2014.
I think that was it.
But I remember we got talking in the lobby. Yeah, we got chatting in the lobby about something, and just kept talking and realized how much we had in common with the backgrounds of our parents and the companies that we ran.
I mean, we've been talking on and off for since 6 years now when we first met. And I think I chatted with you a few times of, hey, if you're ever interested in doing something else, I'm interested in cool companies like yours. What was sort of the impetus for exiting right now?
Well, it was a few different things. Probably the first thing was just that I'm, since mom passed, so it's been, 5+ years now, and I'm doing the best I can running a very small company, but it's not my training. And I'm also trying to spin a couple of other plates with my family and my military career. And then last fall, my company was served with a copyright infringement lawsuit, not for anything regarding our curriculum, but for sharing a viral meme on our very popular Analytical Grammar Facebook page. So that became a sort of big, hairy deal, mainly because we didn't do anything wrong and I refused to settle. So I've been incurring legal fees, a lot of them. And so that led to the next domino, which is, I think, well, maybe I'll go and try to get on orders and go work full-time in my military career and make some money. I'm a lieutenant colonel. We actually do pretty well working full-time. And I ended up getting this amazing job supporting the office that oversees all of the Air Force individual reservists as the public affairs officer, and I love it. But that's even more time, spent on that. And then COVID happened, which threw a wrench for a lot of small businesses as far as funding and that kind of stuff goes, and credit, and that was sort of the final thing. And so I was like, maybe I should really think about finding a home for this amazing stuff that my mom wrote, because I didn't want to let it go. And honestly, Ethan, you were the first person I called, because not only had you expressed interest in the past, but you're my friend, and you have the same philosophy that I do of, being trustworthy. Your customers love you and your products. You provide outstanding customer service. You have great products. And I think there's a lot of similarities in the philosophies behind those products. And so the fit seemed to me very advantageous for both of us. And it would allow me to focus solely on my military career. So things are, lining up really well.
Well, good. Yeah. Well, sorry for all the sort of rough patches you've had along the way.
Yeah.
Those don't sound like any fun. And I also want to say, on behalf of our company and our customers, thank you for your service to our country. I appreciate that.
I've had the best 22 years now that I've been in, and I always joke with people that when they finally make me leave, there's going to be nails, scratches on going outside the gate. I love my Air Force family, and it's been a complete honor to be able to serve. So thank you.
Great. And then from our perspective, you gave me a call, and we've sort of had our eye on Analytical Grammar, but it was it was a good fit. We had expanded from math into spelling a few years ago, about the same time I think we met. And we worked with Dr. Karen Halinga, and she developed a great spelling program, which we launched. And there's a lot of happy customers with spelling. And this sort of adds to that sort of offering that we can have to our customers, another strong language arts curriculum that can hopefully help solve some problems for some of our customers. And we also love the product. This was one our product development team took a look at it. We actually had several employees who were like, hey, I used Analytical Grammar to teach my kids. This is great. So we have some excited fans in our office who are looking forward to this. Yeah, we're really excited too. And so the first thing when we roll this out is we're just going to start selling your products as they are. They'll be available now on the Demme Learning shopping cart. And so we'll be rolling out a lot of email announcements and telling people where they can learn more about Analytical Grammar, as well as where they can continue to make purchases. Because we know that in the homeschool world, this season coming up, July, August, and September is when every family is scrambling to make their final decisions on what product they need to purchase. And so we want to make sure that people have that option to purchase Analytical Grammar this season as well as going forward. So look for a bunch of new updates on our website as we go forward.
Absolutely.